Many thanks for staying tuned. Well, let's delve straight into it. Right here in the beautiful, serene, terrific city of Uyo, Niger Delton made Japan's Taishi Masaoka wish he had gone at least 18 hours more to protect his Guinness World Record from being smashed. Apparently, that was not to be, because in a remarkable display of endurance, passion, and broadcasting excellence, Nigerian radio personality George Inyabasi, popularly known as Mighty George, broke the Guinness World Record for the longest marathon hosting of a radio talk show. And if you ask me, he looked more than ready to go beyond 105 hours. You'll remember he was supposed to stop at about 100 hours, but he pushed the limit, topping up an extra 5 hours. Mighty George surpassed the previous record of 88 hours, which was set in 2017 by Japan's Taishi Masaoka. Ladies and gentlemen, right here in our smart studios is award-winning radio presenter, sports journalist, and announcer. 2 decades in the job and still counting, and now a Guinness World Record breaker. George Inyabasi, popularly known as Mighty George. You're welcome in Niger Delta today.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Good afternoon. How do you feel being on this side of being interviewed this time around?
Like what I said, the interviewer is now the interviewee.
Oh, yeah.
I'm delighted. I'm still basking in the euphoria of all the accolades and all the applause coming in. So it feels very great.
I know that you're used to getting accolades of this nature, but does it feel different? I mean, with the entire attention that has been lavished on you in the past days, how has it felt?
Well, it's been great. It's been great. I have never attempted a world record before, so this is different. And of course, I have won awards, national awards, and but this is something different. The fact that we had the state governor come in to appreciate that, and when he was even on set, he said, you know what, you have a lot of fans, that even in his house he doesn't rest. His children are always talking about me, so it really feels different, and I'm excited. It's a new vista.
Did you see that climax though? Did you envision that the governor was going to be coming?
Well,
especially when you looked at the build-up of guests that you were having, commissioners came, and all of that.
When I started out, I sent an invite. So most of the guests were actually invited. Some actually, popped up and popped into the studios. But I had sent an invite to the governor, by the way, when we started. But you know how it is. You can't tell what the governor's schedule will be like. So I was hoping, and all those days I was on air, I think I saw some messages of people saying, the governor has to come. So I was just being optimistic, but I wasn't sure when or if until I just got that. I got a message that the governor might come, but you never still know until he just walked into the studio. So that felt very, very different.
Indeed, this is
quite exciting.
A very huge feat and an incredible one. But then, what motivated this journey?
Yeah, well, the journey, he had said 2 decades. I was looking for how to mark 2 decades on radio, in a big way. So thought about a Guinness World Record. I'd always thought about a Guinness World Record one day, and I said, okay, this is the right time. So I just flipped through the pages, looking for the ones that had to do with radio, and I saw this one. And I said, okay, let's do this, let's try this. I saw 88 hours by the Japanese, and to be on the safe side, where do we go? I actually had applied for 90 hours, and then I thought about it, 90. These guys, you never can tell what could happen, so I just pushed it up to. So my application on GWR reads 90, but I pushed it up to 100, just after I'd submitted the application, which is allowed. I mean,
you confirmed them then that it's actually okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can also go 200 hours. It depends, but you just have to put in something there. So I went 100 hours, and I said, let's do it. An extra 5. I was still beating myself that I could have gotten more, but what my team said, it's okay, we're safe. The need to go 5 more hours was just to be safe. Because anything can happen. So we did that, and it was great to see that I did 105. Although the thing is, I was already fagged out, but I would have gone more. But it's quite late now. But I'm very optimistic that whatever it is, Guinness World Record will still rate me above the Japanese. So motivation was just to mark 20 years. Also, to just give the profession radio some sort of prestige, just to speak to the coming generations, those who think that radio is out of fashion. There can be something great coming out of radio. And also to show that we definitely on this side, we have the power. We can do what others are doing, and setting a world record is one of them.
Talking about having power, you hosted a number of guests on your show, and they made so many revelations. One of that was the previous, he attempted Guinness World Record, and he mentioned that he was going to make another attempt, John Obut.
Oh, John.
And then the governor came in, and Anikeme Fimba also mentioned why he had left government. And I just want to get, how does it feel that you have to get this information exclusive on your show?
That was the whole point, The point was not just to stretch for 100 hours without content. We needed content, and that's why we carefully selected those that we brought on board. Fimba is somebody that I'm sure that lots of people wanted to hear from, how he was speaking for government and suddenly just decided to speak for himself. So that story came out, and it was great to have it. That was one of the, I think, the most celebrated interviews, because he also has influence on the digital space, so it helped to go viral. John Obot, of course, had his story. Many people didn't know what happened to his. I think he could best explain what happened to him, but from what he said, he talked about some technical issues. Although we heard that at the end of the day, he didn't submit his application, so that's what really happened to John Obot. I mean, when you undertake such an attempt and you do not submit, you don't make the necessary submissions. Like now, we know that Guinness World Record has seen, they've acknowledged, they've seen what I've done, but there's still the second process, which means that you must submit documents, timekeeper sheets. They must all tally. You must upload every single one of those 100 hours, which usually takes. When we talk about finances, it takes more, because if you cannot afford the adjudicators from Guinness World Record coming down here, you should be able to send them the evidence that they need. Even though, don't just assume that they know what's going on here. Yes, they know. They've been watching it, but there's a second step which we are in right now, and that's what we're just looking forward to. Sending all of those and getting them to ratify it. And the ratification has to do with the number of hours they will eventually give me. Yes, I mean, we can say 105, but they can come up with something else, so our fingers are crossed.
Well, let's talk about the peakest and most daunting moments of those 4 days that you had to stay day and night, doing your thing. Was there the time or that point where you said, what am I really doing? Maybe I should just make a come up for a year before I die.
Just keep sleeping. Or just go to bed, right? So, I mean, you have a mandatory five minutes break every 1 hour. And you have to accumulate, because it doesn't make sense that you just take 5 minutes off and run back to the studio. So sometimes you need to stay like 4 hours straight, 6 hours straight. So with 6 hours, you have 30 minutes. With 4 hours, you have 20 minutes. And so there was a time, and there were multiple times when I went into rests or, refreshing up. And then they tell me 2 minutes to go. I'm like, I only just got here. I just got here. What if I don't come out? They say, well, that's not the plan. You have to come out. So I need to give kudos to my crew. They pushed me. I was trying my best. In fact, at one time I said, you know what? Let me rest. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, well, I'll start again. And they said, well, if you start again, we're not going to be here. You're your own. So there were those times when you were fighting sleep, cheating nature. And they say that you can't cheat nature, but to get a marathon attempt and a record, you have to cheat nature, however you want it. So sometimes I go on air, and of course, because it's stream live to the whole world. Some people are there like, George, don't worry, you could do it. So all the encouragement from across the globe actually helped me and pulled me through. Even though I came in with sleepy eyes at midnight, 1 a.m., I still had that power to push on, knowing that there was something in front. So I did feel very tired many times, but I signed up for this and I had to go on with it.
But was there any doubting? Was there any point where you had to doubt, can I continue? Is it possible I could just quit? Or was there that doubt at some point?
Yeah, well, I had to. Yeah, the doubts will come in. The doubts were on if I am complying with the rules, because it's a very, very long rule book. Make sure you talk. You must not be quiet for more than 5 minutes. So if I have you, I'm talking with you, I should not allow my guests out-talk me. You know, there must be no dead air for 10 seconds. Meaning someone must be talking in 10 seconds. If it's beyond 10 seconds, you might have broken the rules. So there were those times where I was wondering, I hope we did this. I hope we covered this, you know. Like when the governor was talking, you know, it's hard to cut the governor when he's talking, you know. Okay. But so when he talks, at least I tried my best to do, oh, really? Oh, okay, sir. Because if you don't do that, you must have run around foul of the rules. So those were the times, there were times where I doubted if I followed the rules, but my team kept saying, oh, great, keep it up. And so they had placards as well. I don't know if people were able to see that. There were placards in the background where people were, where they were showing, keep talking, you know. So that helped me a lot. And yeah, the doubts came to boldness, courage. I mean, when you have guests like the governor come around, that's enough motivation, obviously. And it comes with all the fanfare and all the promises and all the motivation. So he stayed quite a while, and you know, that helped me. And that was around the 80th hour. So that gave me enough fuel again to go for another at least 10, 15 hours. And then
that was the major adrenaline pump.
That was it, man. And he said it too. He said, look, George, I wanted to come earlier, but I wanted you to go past 50. At that time, you need motivation. And so I need to openly thank him again for coming around, identifying with something like this. It was not just about the endurance, like I said, you mentioned. I had quality interviews, had a nice time talking with the governor. He made some revelations that were even picked up by national media. And it was great to see that it was on my interview that you know, they could pick up such a story. So at the end of the day, you had to cast your doubts away because there was 100 hours for you to get.
Okay, but then with it, some other notable memories or impactful memories, like maybe when you get back to sleep, you're like, this was really good. Yeah. Those kind of memories.
The memories I had were with the people who reached out to me. The fans, the listeners. It was, it's like they said, I never expected it, you know. It was massive. The love was from far and near. The love was from all continents of the world. I didn't know how much and how far that we had gone. You know, it was just because of some people decided to share the live stream before you share, it gets to the next person and they keep sharing. And while I was on air, I kept telling them, you know what, share this, let the world see. And true to it, they actually did it. And so I was getting messages from places that got me very emotional. So those are the points I really, really remember and cherish. And, you know, I just wish I could do this all over again. And just to get people who were giving me encouraging words, praying for me every single day. And my mom was there all through the way. She was there in the studios, just refusing to go sleep. They had to chase her to go sleep. So it was that period where everyone came together. And I think that at that time too, they said, not just Akwa Ibom, the whole of the Niger Delta, the whole of Nigeria came together, and we're just talking about something great, and you know, reacting to the good interviews as well. So those are memorable times I'll forever cherish.
Yes, let's talk about the point where you had to do all this, and it gave you the motivation to carry on. Yeah. Now, talking about the situation where you have done 20 years on radio.
Yeah.
And you saw the need to inspire others through what you brought to the table.
Yeah.
Was there a point where you felt that this journey is going to be an eye-opener to a lot of people who felt that they are defeated in one sphere of life or the other? Did you think that it was going to be that morale booster to anybody who listened to you and saw that they could go beyond limits and get to achieve whatever it is that they put their mind to?
Exactly. It was me telling my own story and hoping that people would also learn from it and be encouraged. Before I made even the announcement of about 20 years, people didn't know I'd done 20 years on radio. 2005 was the first time I stepped into a radio station back in Abuja. The station was called Crowder FM, now called Love FM. I was one of those pioneer staffers back then. And ever since then, it's been me just trying to reinvent myself, ensuring that I have friends who decided that, this radio thing, there's no money in radio, let me step out. Some people closed up with about 10 years on radio and said, I've done enough of radio, let me go. Whatever profession you're in, try to be the best. I think I can say for sure that I've reached a sort of zenith, but there's still a lot more to go when it comes to radio. I have won national awards, Sports Journalist of the Year, Radio Presenter of the Year, Football Writer of the Year, all national, local awards as well. And this has happened even in the last decade, because I've been trying to ensure that I keep reinventing myself. There's a lot you can do in that space that you're in right now that you think that there's nothing left. Well, it's ultimately up to you to decide if that space is, you're done with that space. But I always find out that there's still a lot more to do. Try and leave a mark. Try and see how you can inspire the others. You can't say that radio has fizzled out. And that's what I was trying to tell some of the guys who come into radio these days. I said, look, there's a lot to do. Yes, there's no money in radio, but what do you do with what you have? Now look at me. Obviously, I'm sure that Niger Delta would give me some ambassadorship,
Okay.
So there's a lot more to do in any space that you're in. Keep reinventing yourself. Don't give up. Don't think that, you spent the last 20 years. What have you done to, change the game in that space? Don't just sit down and say, this profession has not given me anything. What are you doing to change the game? Okay. And when you're in a particular profession, ensure, or whatever venture, whatever business, just see how you can get to the top, keep learning, do things that are quite extraordinary. And again, wherever you are, some people felt, you're in Akwa Ibom State, you can't really trend. It's not going to be big. Whatever space you are, the world is not a global village. Try and make it wherever you are. Get the help. Don't think like you're in a small village, so it's not going to get beyond that. Anything you do can be known worldwide.
Indeed.
Just put your heart to it, and you certainly would achieve.
A very personal question.
Yes.
Is there money in Guinness World Record?
No, it's not. It's not even personal. It's open. Was there
money in yours? Let's make it a bit personal. Was there money in yours?
The Guinness World Records is just a certificate.
Or you're the one spending to even get that certificate?
Spend to get it. But here's the thing, because I might say something now, before tomorrow everybody will start going to Guinness and start doing that. It's not, well, if you think to set a world record is easy, well, go try it. But this is what you get from being in that book. Of course, it's prestige. You're one of very few people that are going to make it. And then there is the aspect of global citizenship. I'm sure many people have not heard that before. If you get your name in the book of Guinness World Records, there is what you do, you apply for global citizenship. So people who actually are world record holders also hold a global citizenship card, which means that you are automatically wouldn't have visa issues, and you'd be recognized worldwide as a global citizen. Okay. And that could give you access to anywhere. And beyond that, it opens doors for you. I mean,
George, you don't know what you've just done tonight.
So I said I knew people would start rushing right now. But hey, let's ensure that you get the nod from Guinness World Records first.
Before you start.
Before you start. Don't just get in there and say, oh, okay. Let me start, like the lady who I had started cooking at some point without even getting, you know, and then at the end of the day, and you didn't even follow the rules. I had her gas finished or something. Yes. And then Guinness also confirmed that they had not acknowledged or given her permission to start. So make sure you get that. But beyond looking for any global citizenship, it opens doors. Will it give you personal fulfillment? For me, it would. Would it help my career? I say it would. Because once this is ratified, everyone is saying that this is the biggest name on radio, and I'm going to hold it anywhere. I mean, when I won my national awards, maybe people didn't recognize, but now they know that there's someone who can talk for this long, and not just talk, actually bring content and a lot of things and pull the biggest crowd to radio. Then they would know that Mighty George is here.
So what's the next
they didn't
move?
know before.
Now they know. What's the next move?
The next move is we're doing media rounds like I'm doing here. We're trying to see how we can be, you know, ambassadors. You know, it's my time. It's our time. Okay. It's radio's time. We're trying to see how we could build more stuff. I'm coming up with a podcast as well. We're seeing how we can take this to the next level. But ultimately, let's see how we can seize the moment and make radio, make media paramount, and you know, and all that comes with it. All right, the career goes on. Some people said, "Oh, it looks like George wants to sign out of radio." I'm not signing out yet. Okay. I think I still have a lot to do, and I keep doing it. As hopefully now, as Mighty George, Guinness World Record holder, but that means my value is up. I don't know what my employers are going to do about that.
That part.
You know, my employers do know. They know that the value is up, and I'm sure we'll have some amicable arrangements.
Absolutely, especially considering they also played a very huge role in success.
Big shout out to distinguished Senator Effiong Bob for it's like he took it on his head, man, and said, you know what, I think that this is a good venture, and yeah, it's paid off.
Was it collaborative? Because I know the Guinness World Records, they have this part where they say, is it for individuals or a collaboration?
No, it's an individual record.
Okay.
It is the longest talk show on radio by a single individual. So the premises or the location, of course, is also celebrated. For instance, if the certificate comes, when it comes, it will read, this award is given to Mighty George for achieving the longest talk show on radio by a single individual on Comfort 95.1 FM. So that again. And of course, we could arrange to get 2 certificates. So I get mine, I photocopy it, and put one in Comfort FM. So we're all winners.
Well, let's talk with this particular line of thought. The Niger Delta region has apparently been put on the world map, Akwa Ibom specifically, and I don't know what you feel this does to how people see us now. They see us as go-getters, or they believe that we have this can-do spirit that is really formidable and can go ahead and achieve anything.
Obviously, you've said it all. I mean, I'm a Niger Deltan, a proud son of Ikoride Mintanekere, Ibionibo, Akwa Ibom State. So, and you know, someone from this part of the world, this part of the region is able to do it. It means that everyone can do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't have another state of origin or village. I'm a Nigerian and a Niger Deltan through and through. So if I can do it, anyone else can do it. I mean, there are Niger Deltans who are doing great things. I just chose this field and the show. We could go on and on. If it's in the area of sports, we all know that Niger Deltans are big in sports, whether it's football stars, sprint stars. If it's entertainment, we know that some of the biggest actors in Nigeria and Africa are from the Niger Delta. Of course, if it comes to, well, our line of business, if it comes to anchors, look at you guys, you know, some of the biggest in the region as well. ADBN is doing very great, going going places nationally, internationally. And so Niger Delta, obviously, we have the power. It did our body.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's small thing. It did our body. So this is just to show the can-do spirit of Niger Deltans, and this is to call on everyone to discover your own passion, discover your own records. Don't join the bandwagon and say you want to go for world record. Or just me, I went for world record because I don't win the radio award before. Tired, so I don't know which one I won't win again.
Okay.
So now I say, make
You
I
also
just
have
go.
a clear picture of what you want to do and accomplish with it.
That's right. You must have a clear picture, and not just after then. It will be bad. It will make you go win the world record. Next thing, you're going to sip Gary. So make sure you strategize very well.
All right.
Niger Delta is the place, man.
Thank you very much, Guinness World Record breaker George Nyaba CSN, Mighty George.
Thank you.
And of course, what a rush.
What a rush.
What
I
a
was
big
going to
time
say
rush.
that.
Big time.
Thank you for
man.
coming on Niger
Thank
Delta
you
today.
so much.
Thank you, ADBN, for having me.
Yes, well, we'll take a breather when we return. We'll look at the developments in Delta State, especially with the political implosion and the options that the Governor Buraburi has in managing the APC PDP members. So stay tuned.
Now here's